Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday evening community call. Your hosts, Gregory and Robin, here with you this evening. And we love getting together with you every Monday evening to talk all things LifeWave and live younger. So we have some fun news to share today with lots that's going on all over the world with LifeWave. And so we're going to just jump right in. So, Gregory, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'll share the first part. And, it was a very busy week for us last week. We
Your
drove down
volume,
to
could you
Draper
put
on Tuesday. We were there all day Wednesday and Thursday, and then we drove home on Friday. But while we were there, not only did we have some wonderful meetings with some of the corporate executives, meetings with VIPs that some flew in, some drove in there to corporate headquarters for our Live Younger VIP tours, but we had our regular monthly call with SPD webinar with David Schmidt, Meredith, and the rest of the corporate team. And we're just going to give you a few highlights from that meeting because, David shared some relevant timelines with us of things I think that will interest all of you because I know we get a lot of questions about some of these things. So I'm just going to give you kind of a heads up. You can take a few notes. We'll incorporate some of this probably into the next newsletter, but some of it got in this newsletter and some of it didn't. But as far as May goes, there's going to be a LifeWave Connect with David and Meredith, and he shared this that they're going to be covering some new information that hasn't been shared before about the X2O and some of the tests that are going on, and that's going to be very, very fun. And also, as you can see on the screen, we're still screen sharing. We're going to have our next VIP tour on May 13th and 14th. And we'll talk more about that because we want to talk about the one last week and kind of build some energy for the next one. But that's a couple of things happening in May. But in June, one of the things we've all been waiting for is a formal release of Celergize. Okay. And yes, it's going to happen in June. They've had some slippage on the production schedules and such, but it's scheduled for June, and we're very excited about that. Also, there's discussion. We don't have the details, but a Dallas Super Saturday, quite possibly it will be for directors and above only, is what they're talking about. But on Dallas Saturday, June 7th, and that's going to be sharing many things. One of the things they're going to be sharing is more details on the enhancements to the comp plan. They're calling LifeWave Comp Plan 2.0, the enhanced compensation plan. So that's going to be fun. And also in June, there's an SPD trip to Switzerland. So Robin and I will be checking out, and we'll be on Swiss time. Looking forward to some really wonderful Swiss cheese while we're over there, that's for sure. The birth of Swiss cheese, I'm sure that's where it came from. And being a cheese lover, I can't wait. Then we move into July, and here's the other one everyone's wondering and waiting about. X2O, the initial release with the 6 clinical studies, is all coming out in July. And now I just want to brace everybody. There's a good possibility it's going to be a stage release. Can't just open the doors at one day and they'd sell so many they would be out the next day. So probably a staged release through the ranks. SPD's first, presidential's next, senior directors after that, and go through the ranks, or executive director, senior. So go through the ranks. So rank up between now and July to get yours sooner, because we don't really know how long it'll take them to fill the pipeline. There's a pretty big demand for those systems, and they're going to be released to the brand partners first before they start releasing them to our customers. So just so you know. So and then on July 26th, and there's more information about that in the newsletter. We'll go over that briefly. There's going to be a mini boot camp in Orlando with David Schmidt. It's going to be live. He was going to be beaming in, but he's actually going to be physically be there. So get your tickets. Robin and I and many other leaders are going to be there, and you won't want to miss that. And then David was talking about the possibility of inviting some of the SPDs to Copenhagen, Denmark, where he's setting up production for the drones. And this is very excited. There's a drone production facility and testing area there in Denmark. It's 18,000 square kilometers. And that's big. I'm not sure how big that is, but that's so they're going to be doing initial production runs on the drones in that area where they can test them. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and that was the key things I took away from David's presentation at the SPD call. Robin, I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to share, because I know Meredith shared a lot of information, and I do want to say this is just a brief summary. Those of you that are at the director level that join us for the Wednesday call, once a month we have the SPD call, and the next Wednesday on a Wednesday morning, excuse me, we go into a little bit more detail with our directors and above. So, but we can't go over everything right now because we have many other things to cover. So I'll turn it back over to you, Robin, for any highlights you want to give from that wonderful
I
call we
loved your
had with David
calendar,
and Mary.
honey. I
Uh,
loved your calendar. And so I do want to say, listening to David on that call, this is the fulfillment of his dreams and visions all coming into reality. And so you could feel it by listening to him. You know, he's a humanitarian at heart. And he's been frustrated. For those of you that don't know why he created the drone, it was just too much red tape, too much time when people couldn't get the resources he wanted to provide for, disasters. So he was just so excited that this is really happening. They're getting amazing support from the Danish government. It is the grand opening of the drone production facility, and he's just ecstatic about sharing it. So he just said, envision, the drones coming to disaster areas, and under the wings it says LifeWave. People are going to learn about LifeWave in lots of different ways in this next year. So a little bit, and also something David said, because, there's a lot of companies that are leaving the direct selling channel, and David is absolutely committed to this channel. And he said it would be unthinkable. He loves it. It's the reason the company has grown. He loves networking. He loves the relationships. He says we're family. And so just so everyone knows, we're not leaving. It's just a good thing to know. Okay. And then a little bit about Meredith. Meredith was talking a little bit about the double-digit growth year over year, lots of new enrollments and rank advancements. The company is, doing all kinds of things. They're adapting AI beautifully, and every time you contribute to that, it sweetens it and makes it more accurate. One of the things that I think is going to be fascinating for any of you that are dealing in Mexico or some of the other countries like the Philippines is, they're really moving forward on local currencies and cash payments. That's just a big deal. And the Comp Plan 2.0 is really designed, every company over time has to tweak its comp plan, especially with the mature binary. These are enhancements. They are going to be putting more money. Like, I know people, when they hear comp plan changes, they freak out. This is really good. It's a very sophisticated plan. It takes a little while to grok it, but people will be making money quicker. People will be staying in longer because of these refinements that they've put in there. So we're really pleased with what they've done, and I think you will be too. And it takes some time. So you get to learn about it if you go directors and above to Dallas on June 6th or 7th, one of those days.
Mhm.
But they've really designed a beautiful way to introduce the enhancements over time, and there's plenty of time to learn and transition into it.
And they did say regarding that event in Dallas, it will be broadcast to directors that can't physically travel to be
Yeah,
there. So
yeah.
don't feel the pressure. You got to be in Dallas if you're a director and above. But it'd be nice if you were.
Yeah. And Janine got to go on her first incentive trip, and she loved it. She loved meeting people. I mean, our corporate staff has been on the road for like a month, between Dallas at the DSN, and then the road show, and then 2 sessions of incentive trips. So she just had a great time there. Mexico's growing really fast. There's a lot of focus on the Hispanic market. And, you can kind of see what's coming down the road because of that. So we're working on the US Hispanic market first, but guess what comes after that? Maybe some expansion into some Hispanic countries. I got from a good source today. So that's down the road, but very exciting time. So back to you, Gregory.
Okay, so that kind of covers the SPD, and then Robin and I, besides meeting with guests, and their some of their sponsors that were there, Robin and I had two wonderful meetings. One with our global director of marketing, Wayne, and the other, uh, a great surprise, the new global director of compliance. And LifeWave has hired another AAA staff member, and she comes with many years of compliance experience and background. She's going to be overseeing total global compliance. Um, and I think you're going to feel a softening and a heart. She's a wonderful woman, with a phone. That was Robin's first question. Do you have a phone? Can we get the phone number? Because, we've had some challenges. Everybody, compliance is there to protect the integrity of the opportunity for all of us. And sometimes they get too wrapped up in their administrative code, so to say. And I think you're going to feel LifeWave is a company with a heart, and they found a very capable woman with a big heart and many years of experience in the compliance arena and working with the field. I think you're going to be delighted when everyone gets to meet Lori.
No,
And
no,
we're,
no, honey.
no,
Julie Hunter.
Julie, excuse me. Why did I say Lori? Julie Hunter. And our goal is we'll have her on one of our Monday evening calls in one of the upcoming weeks. So everybody will get to feel her vibe and, hear her posture. She's only been there for 3 weeks. So we'll
And
let her get her feet on the ground.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna let her land a little bit, and it was so fun. I talked to Geraldo today, and he was in a meeting, and she was there, and he and Garrett came in a little late. They missed the introduction. They said, "Would you please, introduce this person we don't know?" And they introduced her, and she started talking, and Geraldo went, "Oh my, this is exciting. She's wonderful. She knows what she's talking about." And when there was another staff meeting and Wayne found out that she was on board with LifeWave, he started clapping because they've worked together before. She's an extraordinary woman, and I think, her main focus is to really look at where there's static. Where are there things that need to be simplified, made easier, take less time. So we have a bright future, and it's so fun as new people come on board because they're all amazing. So we're really, Meredith is putting the right people in the right seats on the LifeWave bus. Yes.
Mhm. So we were there for the VIP tour, the Live Younger VIP tour for April, and we were very excited to have one of our favorite brand partners, Sunwolf, aka David Itkow, aka Sunwolf. And David, if you're there, if you want to chime in and share some of your experience, that was your first time in the Welcome Tour, and I'm trying to promote you to panelists. I don't know if you can. I think you can talk, David, but I won't be able to turn your camera on unless you accept the invitation to be a panelist.
Yeah, he
But
did.
if you're there,
He accepted.
okay.
So you can put your
Oh, there
camera
you
on.
are. Okay.
Yeah, I am here.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So,
So
first of all, go ahead.
go ahead. I was gonna ask you, but if you want to jump in, go for it.
Well, yeah, one of the big highlights right off the bat was seeing Gregory and Robin. Oh my. Wow. And then of course the stage was set. I'm telling you what was quite amazing for me. I felt literally beaming up Scotty because when we were in this kind of elevators place, beautiful, wall design, everything is the wave, the power, the engines. I went, wow, was I in for an experience? Um, I'm going to tell you what was so extraordinary is how they had laid out. You could learn about the products, pushing buttons, all the space age technology, all these you feel like you're in the cosmos. And then, of course, I was close and personal with the X2O. 35-pound machine, so close to me. The first thing that came to my mind, this is a Rolls Royce. Yeah, extraordinary experience that way. Then, of course, the drones. And I think with something like the drones and how it was shared and the humanitarian and what it's doing to clean the air, it's all about really the mission, the cause-driven company we are. I absolutely love that. And then they have a nice big room where they had all the patents, all the trophies. That was extraordinary. I mean, a whole length of a wall filled with plaques. Oh, it was just blew me away. And they had private rooms where you could, bring people and guests. So here's the scoop: is when you do come, it's really urgent that you do not come alone. It's not as much fun. When you bring a person, I was fortunate to have actually 3. There was going to be 4 or 5 people. One came from Florida. He was totally blown away, very big in the network marketing space, personal growth seminars. He was a teacher around the country. And you never know who you're going to meet. And I've met him years ago, and I just loved who he was. And we kept in touch every so often. So that was great. And then, of course, I have a list of people I happen to know in Utah. So I made a couple of calls. And then this guy, who's very much into nutrition science, was extremely impressed and so excited that he brought his beloved. And she found this window to come. And what was interesting is she experiences a lot of pain. It's very rare for Bob to take his beloved for a walk. Well, guess what? Here comes Robin with the patches. You know how she gets right in there quickly, starts patching her up. And then I get this incredible testimony that she's able to walk pain-free. This is a miracle. This is magical. So again, that was my goal. I put that intention out. I wanted to go so much, but I'm not going to go unless I bring a person or 2. And so I went to 2 of the tours, the Wednesday and the Thursday. A neat friend I met at a gathering who happens to live there, and she was thrilled. And I let him know too, that not only are they very fortunate and lucky to be in Utah, but to have access to the tours, to the office is incredible, and how helpful the staff was. Beam me up, Scotty. I've been waiting a long time for this.
Thank you so much.
One thing I want to share that I think was very powerful, I think Gregory brought it to my attention, is their mission statement. And I actually took a picture of it. LifeWave is a breakthrough life technology company dedicated to honoring the light of life and harnessing the body's natural energy to reverse aging and maximize human potential. That's powerful. And I had my guests tune into that mission statement, and they were awestruck and blown away. Mission statements doesn't come just in a flash. I mean, there's a lot of thought that is around that, creating that, and just the proudness of being with this company at this juncture and seeing what I saw, and the guest impression and excitement was off the chart. So it was great to see you guys and great to share what happened.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to ask you one more question. How are things different for you since you've been to Utah?
Great question. For me, what it did for me is really go through my database and really choose those people that are hungry and ready. So in other words, I'm upscaling uh, the people that I've known, upscaling in a sense that those that are my equal and above. Because I have spent a lot of time really wanting to help people and sometimes wanting it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. I mean, I've gone past that phase, surely, but sometimes it pops up again. But for me to really be with those leaders, find those people that are hungry and get it and are able to connect the dots.
Thank you. Thank you. I think everyone could feel his energy and passion. It's so beautiful. We
Thank you.
love seeing you, David.
It's
It was
great to
so
see
great.
you. Love you both.
Love
Thank you
you
so
too.
much.
And thanks for taking time out of your evening because he was in the middle of an event and he stepped away. So there we
Yeah.
go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Yeah. Oh, and you know
So
what?
Robin and I, we absolutely love inviting and hosting, and gathering with new, with brand partners and their prospects. And so we're going to be back down there in May 13th and 14th, Tuesday and Wednesday. Um, you know, talking, sharing and breaking bread. We always have some wonderful meals together and, just really locking in and building a foundation of relationship with the prospects and new brand partners that join us there. So
So,
mark
honey,
your calendars and it'd be nice to see some of you there with us next month.
so guess what? I noticed that Dan Gibson is with us tonight. Should we ask
Mhm.
him to say a few words? He said he was blown away.
Dan, if you'd like to say hello, you can, I unmuted you. Well, I didn't unmute you. You might have to unmute yourself,
No.
buddy.
Yep. Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can.
Hi.
All right. How you doing?
Oh, it
All right.
was such a gift to meet you. Oh my gosh. That was one of the best parts of the whole trip.
No kidding.
Oh gosh. And then anytime you get to spend some time with Sunwolf as well, it's
Yes.
like
Yes. Yes.
I felt I was doing a Miller High Life commercial. It doesn't get any better than this.
So
Any, eh,
So
eh,
Dan, what was it like? Dan is a new brand partner. He's a longtime friend of David Sunwolf's, and we got to meet him, and we've got a new friend. I mean, one of those lifelong ones. So that's one of the greatest gifts. You bring your treasures, and then our treasure chest just grows. So what was it like for you, Dan, to make that trip? You came all the way from Florida for a 30-minute tour and a little bit more too.
oh yeah. It was great. Thank you very much for you guys were just incredible hosts. So I appreciate that. And the amazing company. I think it's one of those situations where, I heard about LifeWave before, um, but it got put on the back burner. And it's what came to my mind. It's kind of like I don't want to say it's like a phoenix coming out of the ashes because it was never in the ashes, but it's kind of like what as you were explaining to me with the business up like 3,000% since the X39 was introduced. It's definitely a company worth taking another look at. For people that are on this call that might have talked to people years ago or whatever, and they said no then, it may be worth revisiting them now because with those statistics you shared with me about, the growth up 3,000%, they're the number 20, they're ranked 22 in all network marketing companies around the world, and they're the fastest growing network marketing company in the world. It's worth a second look for some people to take a look at it because I was really really impressed, and David did a good job of explaining you know
Sure.
inside the Starship Enterprise. So
Thank you,
that
Dan.
was yeah, so that was good.
It was wonderful to have you. And just so you know, this call tonight is for our brand partners in our community. Because
Okay.
you're just starting to tap into the calls. So Love to have you. In the morning, we share stories and we have a whole schedule. So great to hear your voice and wonderful to be with you.
Yeah, again, thank you, and it was wonderful, and appreciated everything. And also, I enjoyed meeting your friend Danielle. She was a really beautiful lady and gentle soul.
Yes, yes,
Totally.
yes. Thanks so much. Okay, look forward to our next encounter.
You got
Okay,
it.
and
Take care.
what else?
Maybe we'll be hosting you and your guests next month.
You got it. You got it. I am looking.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
love it. Okay.
Okay, well, we're going to just zip through some other things in the newsletter. We already talked about join us on July 26th. And here in the newsletter is the link where you can get a ticket. You don't want to miss this. This is going to be the summer event that everybody's going to be talking about. Because imagine the X2O was probably released by the time this conference. We're going to have people giving testimony about the results they've had with the product. Dave is going to go into more detail than probably ever before because we'll have the product probably on stage. I don't know if we'll have it there. We probably won't be able to give 1,000 people a drink of water, so it probably won't be sampling, but you'll be able to see and probably touch the system. I just encourage everybody, if you want to take a couple of days off and come to Orlando, buy a ticket, save your space, and God will provide the airline somehow. Just get there. So, and then I just want to thank Dr. Stacy, SPD. Dr. Stacy has pulled this all together, and David was going to beam in, and his schedule changed so he can actually be there on stage live. So you're going to want to be there with us. Okay, so and then we've talked a lot about the new Live Younger personal websites, and many of you have them. But this Thursday, let's see, it was
Last Thursday.
last Thursday. My, how time flies! It's already last Thursday. On the Thursday morning training, we had Sherry Duncan came on, did a fabulous training. It's now available in Live Younger Success in the What's New section. It's about a 30-minute training on how to best use, the idea of having your own personal website that hot links to the enrollment page in your LifeWave website. So I invite everyone, if you didn't already see that, check it out. And you definitely want to have that information available to you. Then, share the light, get your conference tickets. Here's the events, and here's Robin's weekly reminder for the annual renewal report.
Okay, everyone. Just like you check your back office regularly, you want to check under organization and membership renewals at the bottom and reach out to those people. And they will really appreciate it. And it'll save time for everyone later when they discover they were reclassified and didn't want to be. And some are okay, and it's a good thing. So that's my weekly reminder.
Good. So, and then tomorrow night, I'm going to be back on with our Power of the Patch, and I'm going to be assisted by Sunshower Rose and Dr. Shauna Young. Sunshower is going to be interviewing Dr. Shauna, so it's going to be a great, uh, a great way to introduce the business and the products to your prospects, your guests, and your new brand partners. It's for everybody, but this call is designed to bring guests. So load up the lines with your guests. And then, at the end, we always invite them to get back with the person who invited you. And, they might be your next brand partner, your next customer. So the rest of the events pretty much are in there, and most of you know about them. Our Thursday morning business training, the wonderful Doc Talk with Connie and Ann Moreau and health practitioners on Sunday. That was a fabulous call. I bet last night. I was not able to be on it. Yard work got the best of me.
I
But
got
we
to
had,
be on.
some nice weather and then some hellacious rainstorm. And now the sun's out again. So you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes and move to Montana. So anything else you want to close or share, Robin, before we end the call tonight?
Um, I think everybody knows we're in the right place at the right time, and business is about timing. It's
Mhm.
the most important thing. And, Gregory and I are so grateful that, our friend Kai called us up before X39 was released to the world. And that allowed us to get in early. And, our business is bigger because we've been in longer. So, and I love how Gregory says, you know, commit to be here a year from now. As I
Mhm.
think we're all about in for the ride of our life. And David said, first 20 years was nothing. We're just getting started. So, really reach out to people, and people they need things that they can be excited about right now. People need hope, and that's what we have is hope. And so invite people, we can help people transform their experience in their bodies and in their life. And please, it's time to really get out there and ask people, are you open to an income opportunity? And reach out to your favorite people and say, I'm taking the ride of my life and I want to share it with you, because we really do have the ride of our lives. So anyway, love to all of you. Wonderful having you on this evening. We're always glad to be home. It's springtime in Montana. The daffodils are in bloom, and it's really so. Hope you're enjoying your springtime too. There's rebirth and new life. Okay.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.